Hi guys! Welcome back to another informative video where we discuss things about saving, investing, stock market, and a lot of practical tips that you can use to improve your way of living. Ilang days na lang po, tapos na ang 2021. I guess for me, yung 2021 ko, okay lang. Matutawag siyang sakto lang. Saks lang. Saks lang yung ano natin, yung 2021 niya. But this was actually a year for me to experience a lot of new things and to prioritize myself. Siguro more on investment ako ngayong 2021. So medyo palabas yung mga pera ko ng 2021. Pero okay lang. So in today's video, I want to share the 7 things I learned this year. Again, this is a sit-down discussion, and kung hindi ka fan ng mga gantong discussion, ito po ang theme ng aking channel. So, skip mo na lang tong video. Hanap ka na lang ng ibang papanoorin mo. Baka hindi ako ang tamang platform para sa'yo. So, let's start. 7 things I learned this year. Number 1, it's okay to cut ties. Ang dami kong, kinut ties ngayong taon na mga tao. And again, when we say cutting ties, hindi naman yung tipong di mo na sila kakausapin. Ikaw mismo sa sarili mo, you have finally decided na you will no longer give a fuck. Sorry for the term, tumasik pa talaga yung laway ko. Yun. I mean, whenever people kasi think about cutting ties, inisip nila, ibablock ko na sila, i-restrict ko na yung account nila, hindi na nila makikita yung mga post ko. Cutting ties should come internally from you. It's a decision you make. It's the connection. That's, ano kasi yung relationship, diba? Hindi naman yan bagay na bigla-bigla na lang mangyayari. What people, I think madalas misconception ng tao about cutting ties, inisip nila biglaan siyang nangyayari. For me, whenever I cut ties sa tao, it's a process. It's a phase. Hindi siya yung tipong biglang mangyayari overnight. So what you do when you cut ties, you finally come to an agreement with yourself that you will no longer mind this person. Whatever this person does, whatever, if he consults sa'yo, you will just shrug it off. The idea of him or her will no longer appeal to you because internally, you have finally decided that you don't want this person to be part of your life. And that doesn't mean you block them right away, but just in case it helps you, then go ahead by all means. Gawin mo, block mo siya. Ako, ang face ko ng pagkakat ng tao, I try to give them a chance. I try to talk to them. And kapag mayroon akong konting nakikita na di talaga siya mag-work, konti-konti, nag-drift na ako doon. Konti-konti, kahit anong lapit yun sa akin, wala na sa akin magiging effect. Because I gave myself that parang time, that space to think about it. Hindi tipong biglaan na lang. So that's one, and it's okay. And I'm happy that 2021 happened to me kasi dami ko na-realize na mga bagay-bagay. Second, mental health is not a joke. Have yourself checked. Pwede kang mag-consulta MD, and lagi kong i-recommend sa inyo would be sa Cardinal City. Sobrang okay ng psychiatrist doon. Kung ikaw kailangan mo ng help, try to talk to people. Or kung di mo talaga kaya, syempre may mga taong hindi basta-basta makakapag-share ng information or ng feelings or ng story nila kasi hindi ganun kadali. Try to look for an outlet. Help yourself. Lagi kong sinasabi, kapag may mga taong namumblema sa buhay nila na lumalapit sa akin, na hindi ko naman tipong magpapakabayani ako or pag magpapakagaling-galingan ako, magbibigay advice. But if there are people who goes to me and asks for my advice, I always tell them, at the end of the day, it's you versus you. Walang taong may capable na basahin yung utak mo. But I want to stress that God is always with you. God is on top of everything and all the problems that we have. Nakikita niya. Pero, kahit anong bigay niya sa'yo, kung hindi mo naman pahahalagan lahat ng blessings na binibigay niya sa'yo or hindi mo siya nakikita, at the end of the day, it's not gonna make sense. Because talagang magulo yung pag-uutak mo. So, help yourself. Kahit na gaano karaming tao magsasabi sa'yo ng maraming advice, ikaw pa rin yan sa dulo. Ikaw pa rin yung makakatulong sa sarili mo. That's why I always say, at the end of the day, it's you versus you. That principle have worked for me. Kahit na sa trabaho, sa relasyon, sa family problems, it's always gonna be you versus you. At the end of the day, you only have yourself to back you up. So, pahalagahan mo yung sarili mo, kagaya ng pagpapahalaga mo sa ibang tao. Because nobody's gonna do that for you but yourself. So, yun, that's second. Third would be patience, process, progress. Lagi akong nagfe-field for a couple of days. And I always listen to 99.5 Play FM. And lagi itong sinasabi dun sa show na yun every time na pauwi ako. Ulitin ko ha. That's patience, process, progress. You have to be patient in order for you to go through the process. And when you try to work on... Nakaka-conscious ako ha. Kasi yung laway ko tumatalsik, sorry. Yung patient, nawala tuloy ako. Patience, process, progress. You have to be patient enough so that you can go through the process. And once you're in the process, you would see that you're making progress. Napakaganda niya every time I listen to it. Because in any aspect of your life, you can always apply the patience, process, progress principle. And ang dami dong instance na lagi nila yung babanggitin. And it feels so good to have heard those because a lot of people think that things will happen overnight. But the truth is, mahirap naman talagang i-achieve ang mga bagay-bagay, lalo panahon ngayon. It's not as easy to, say, travel outside the country. It would require you effort, time, papers. Unlike before na gusto kong pumunta sa ganito, magbubook lang ako, nandun na ako, basta may passport ako. Now, it requires a lot of things. So, the patience, process, progress principle, mas lalo siyang pinagtitibay because of our situation, because nasa pandemic tayo. So again, kahit na baby steps lang yan, that is still progress. So, recognize those small wins. Again nga, walang makakapagbigay nun kundi ikaw lang. And that's like one of the best things that happened to me. That whatever I do in life, I know that I'm getting there because I trust the process. And at the same time, once I'm in the process and once I'm in the mood to go through it, I know that I'm making progress. Kahit na maliit lang. Because at the end of the day, progress is still progress, right? Next, number 1, wait lang, 2, 3, 4. Always put yourself first. Maraming taong nakakalimutan na ata ang sarili nila. Kasi masyado na nilang nilaan yung oras nila para sa ibang tao. I am part of that population na may ganong attitude, no? Lagi kong gustong unahin yung ibang tao kaysa sarili ko, na nalilimutan ko na paano naman ako, paano naman yung kasiyahan ko, paano naman yung mga bagay na nagmamatter sa akin. May chance kaya na dumating yung panahon na ako naman, yung uunahin ko naman yung sarili ko. And I guess that thing happened to me this year. Sorry na putol. So may mga times din na I ask myself, why am I so cruel to myself? Wala nang nagpapahalaga sa akin. I always give so much to other people. Emotion, kindness, generosity. And minsan parang, though it's always good naman to be generous it's just that sometimes you feel naubos ka na. You know this, parang whenever your phones, diba, nalolobat din ng phones natin. And when we charge, dadami yung energy niya. Tapos, pwede ka na ulit gumamit. Tayo rin na nalolobat Not just energy. Physically, mentally, emotionally, nade-drain din tayo. And it's very important to take note that when it becomes so draining for you, you have to recharge. And when you recharge, you have to put yourself first. Why? Diba kapag nag-charge ka, kada adapter, isa lang naman yung sinasaksak, diba? Na cord. You see, that adapter is actually prioritizing that phone itself para lang ma-charge siya. So at some point, you really need to be in sync with yourself. And it really comes with the principle then, I guess, na kapag gusto mong unahin yung sarili mo, gusto mong pahalagahan yun, lahat ng the rest na yun hindi nagmamatter. Kasi gusto mo siyang unahin. Gusto mo siyang i-prioritize. And I want you to understand that as well. Kasi sa isip-isip ko lang naman yung ginagawa ko tong video na to. Parang ang daming times in the past na sobrang naging rude ako sa sarili ko, na nalimutan kong isipin na why would I be rude to myself when in fact I have given so much? Bakit hindi ko mapagbigyan yung sarili ko? So, yun. Nagiging emotional no? But I guess that was such a nice thing to say. Next, don't mind the others. You do you. Alam nyo kasi maraming mga bagay na minsan mas mahirap panindigan. There are also things that you want to leave unsaid, but to be honest, when you think about life, it's gonna be you versus you at the end of the day. Di ko alam kung nasabi ko na to sa previous video ko. Pero, girl, you do you. Kasi, whatever plans you have in mind, sa totoo lang, di naman yung nagmamatter sa ibang tao. And I realized that during pandemic marami akong tao na minsan nagiging judgmental tayo. Tao lang naman tayo, di ba? But the truth is, those people who care less about others, sila pa yung nagtatagumpay sa buhay. Yung mga taong may less pake sa ibang tao, or may zero pake level at all, sila pa yung madalas na nagtatagumpay. Because this is their road, and there's a lot of bystanders sa gilid nila, na dire-diretso lang sila lumalakad. You see, if you are in a road, and there's a lot of bystanders, kapag in-entertain mo silang isa-isa, di ba nagkukumpulan kayo? And ang ending, di ka na makalabas bigla. Parang nakahon ka na in that circle ng bystanders, as ang hirap na makalabas. Opposed if you just walk your way through life or through that road nang walang pake, then walang pupunta sa'yo. Because sometimes you attract them. Ewan ko ba, but I have this idea lang that whenever I do something, you attract people, you draw people to you. And kadalasan, ang nado-draw mo dun yung negative energy. So, just shrug it off and do your thing. Again, at the end of the day, you do you, girl. Just do it, diba? Huwag ka na magkaroon ng hesitations about the things that you want, the things you aspire for in life. By all means, just do it kasi wala kang mapapala just by thinking what others would say, and it becomes so draining. Next, God's timing. It's always the best timing. Totoo to. Si Alisa lang niya sa akin sinasabi, yung salitang exodus. O, ayan, tapos na yung exodus mo in life. Ang galing kasi, lahat ng bagay na hilingin mo, talagang nilalagay niya sa tamang timing. May mga siguro iba ditong manonood na hindi religious or hindi naman, or iba yung religion. And then, you know what? I really respect the God that you have. I have my own and you have yours, and I respect that. But at the end of the day, I also believe in one creator. And every time that I think about my life experiences in the past and what I have now, it's only Him na kinakapitan ko. And by all means, I respect any religion, It's just that whenever we talk about these things, we tend to be emotional. Because whenever there are trials or hardships in life, si God naman talaga yung kakapitan mo. And lalakas ka. And same goes for me, One of the things that I learned is, kapag ready ka na pala, ibibigay niya na pala yon. And it's such a liberating experience to have experienced that. Kasi I've went through hell. Pero nakita ko yung light, and now look at me. Even though I did not ask for this platform, or kahit na nagsasalita lang ako, share ako, it's a humbling feeling. And I feel every time that I'm talking in front of the camera, if I get to share my experiences about Him, about my Lord, parang nagiging masaya ko, or parang feeling ko may blessing. Ganon. I cannot stress enough how happy I am. So, kung ikaw, if you're going through something, I always love this verse. Itong verse na to sa Romans 8 verse 18. Tama ba? The pain you've been feeling can compare to the joy that's coming. Let me just correct the verse, okay? Para lang sure. Yeah, Romans 8, verse 18. And I always share that to people going through something, that it's not temporary, promise. Mas malalo kang pinaghihirap ng panahon, mas lalo kang pinagtitibay ni Lord for what's coming your way, kung anong nilaan niya for you. So always believe in His plans, kasi that's bigger than anything. Next and lastly, life is short. Live for the little things. If there's one thing that I would always say is to enjoy life, because you will never know what will happen the next day, diba? So I think we all should laugh more, worry less, and trust ourselves to God. Maraming mga bagay ang mga pag-iisipan mo as you grow old. I am now 26 years old. I think there's a lot of things that life has to offer me. But what I have now, this is my present, and I want to live my present. I don't want to stress too much about what the future holds. Kasi every time I think about the future, baka naman sinasaalang-alang ko yung present ko, and parang baka naman magahol ako sa present ko just because I'm thinking of the future too much. And so, I have reached this conclusion na, you know what, life is just so short, and whatever little things that I can enjoy, I'll do it. Etong pagdo-document ng mga pinagagawa ko sa buhay, nakakatuwa siya, and at the same time, nakakainis siya. Nakakainis siya because sometimes iniisip mo yung pagod mo sa paggagawa nito, but at the same time, nakakatuwa siya. Kasi napakasimple niya, pero pinapasaya ka niya. Nakakapagod rin na mag-film, mag-document ng ganito. But at the end of the day, whenever I want to go back to those times na I have this parang activity or may binili akong bagay, or I feel like I have this achievement, ang sarap niyang balikan. So, try to live for the little things. Sobra na nga petty minsan ng mga little things, pero sa sobrang kababawan ko, I just feel really alive. Parang, I never felt more alive than what I have now. The feelings that I have now, sobrang yung saya. Sometimes, lalabas lang ako, pero sobrang saya ko na, I don't know if ako lang yon, pero, nagigets niyo ba ako? Parang, since life is so short, I wanna live in my now. Parang I don't wanna go further pa. But of course, I keep on thinking naman, I have to save up so that I can thank my past self because I have prepared myself for the future. Nandun naman yun. But what I'm saying is that, for the little things, baka pwedeng i-enjoy mo naman. Because you are stressed too much of work, of family matters, na baka pwedeng ibigay mo na sa inyo mga maliliit na mga bagay na pwede kang sumaya. So, ayun, those are the 7 things. Alam, nahirapan ako ditong magsalita because there's a lot of things going on inside my head, pero nako-conscious rin ako talking in front of the camera. So, nagiging issue sa akin kung papaano ba yung salita ko. So, sometimes I look here, or I look up kasi hindi ko na talaga alam kung papaano ko siya i-express yung sarili ko. Maybe sometime, magsusulat na lang ako, tapos i-ano ko na lang siya, i-voice over ko na lang siya para I don't have to look at myself in front of the camera kasi nako-conscious talaga ako. But yun, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Medyo mahaba yung video na nakuha ko, pero sana naman may mga inputs kayo nakuha from this discussion. Thank you for watching! Bye!